This tournament tip of the week focuses on making adjustments to your strategy when you're in competition. In competition, we go for the shots that we're the most comfortable with, and we go for the shots that we like. But when do you identify when that shot is not being effective and make a change so that you can gain the tactical advantage? And before we talk about strategy, you have to implement a concept that allows you to maneuver through the match, and that's going to be charting the table. And if your opponent is in the forehand, there's 5 positions that you can play. And position 1 is right in the forehand. Position 2 is going to be outside the power pocket of this line. Position 3 is going to be inside the power pocket, and you're going to be aiming for the hip or the elbow. Position 4 is right back to the backhand, and position 5 is going to be outside the power pocket. And from the backhands, position 1 is directly in the backhand. Position 2 is going to be outside the power pocket. Position 3 is still going to be the hip and the elbow. Position 4 is right in the power pocket, and position 5 is outside the power pocket. And the best positions to play is going to be positions 2, 3, and 5 from the forehand, and also positions 2, 3, and 5 from the backhand. And the reason that these are the best positions is because your opponent has to make a movement before taking action to the ball. If I'm standing in the forehand and the ball is played from position 1 and position 4, I don't have to make a movement, I just have to make a stroke. But for positions 2, 3, and 5, I have to make a body movement. This is the formula to have that will help you identify whether or not your shots have a maximum impact when you're in competition. And the reason it's important to have this formula is I went into the national championships with my normal strategy of attacking hard into my opponent's forehand. And let's see how that went. Now, going hard into my opponent's forehand is not only something they can do very well, he was expecting it. And that's something that I don't see very often, and I lost the first game as a result of not making an adjustment sooner. The reason I kept making my attack shots right into my opponent's forehand is I wanted to test the waters to find out if he was making lucky shots or if he does have a good counter loop. Well, after losing the first point of game 2, looping a ball to his forehand, and he made another counter loop, I realized, in fact, he does have a good counter loop, and it's a part of his normal shot selection. Inside the concept of charting the table, the correct adjustment for me to make is to start placing my attacks outside the power pocket, or inside the power pocket. These were the micro adjustments I needed to make to gain a tactical advantage in the match, and I can't say I would have been successful had I just kept attacking to position 1. And that's what you have to understand, and the difference between playing with your shots and competing with your shots. Take these tips, work on them, and they'll help you play and compete better. My name is Brian Pace, and I'll see you on the table.